Hello, everybody. We're back. Hopefully, this will fix the connections. But to God be glory.
Yes. As I was saying, we were watching a house being built across the street from us, and the process in the beginning, it just looked like just an empty field, and I was kind of frustrated because I was like, why they keep cutting that field? But it was being prepared for what they're doing now, and now it is a big, nice mansion, look like to me, being built across there. But it kind of, you see the process of, um, you gotta tear down and build up. They had to lay the foundation, and in order to lay the foundation, it's way different than what we think. And sometimes you have to dig down deep to make sure that the foundation is being uh, that you're on a solid foundation, not just on a foundation. So I'm looking at it, and every day I'm seeing something different. Like this morning when we were leaving out, it was two big box trucks going in, and it looked like I think they were heating the air people. So all that stuff got to be roughed in, and all that has to be um, put in. It looks like it's gonna be demolished. It looks like trash before they can finish it. And once it's finished, you have a beautiful product.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when we get the finished product, we we, we start saying, "Well, I wish I had did it this way. I wish I had did it that way." And so when you are growing or you're building something, you have to know what you're building, and you have to keep looking at the blueprint, because the blueprint reminds you of the things that you put down. Because sometimes if you don't look at the blueprint, um, you forget.
So you're saying you have to count the cost,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
counting the cost is planning and mapping things out. What is where um, where will the sink go in relationship to the refrigerator, in relationship to the stove? Do you want double ovens? Where do you want a microwave? Do you want a dishwasher? Where you want to put these things? What will the flow traffic look like? You have to determine where you're going to put your air vents, and do you want them on the floor? Do you want them in the wall? Do you want them on the ceiling? So life a certain kind of way and put a lot of detail into how he has designed your life to go and to be, which is why I firmly believe, and I know it to be true, that he establishes and sets certain what you will call moments, certain timestamp. He timestamps certain moments for your life, so that when you get to a certain point, there's a lesson waiting there for you.
Okay.
When you get to a certain time in this life and season, certain things get released to you. You then get to experience on a different level because you've made it to this point. And to give you an understanding of that, understand that um, Jacob, when he got to Potiphar's house. Now notice when he was with his father Jacob, Joseph, when he was with Jacob, he was overseeing things, but there was tension with his brothers. So once he got to Potiphar's house, again, learning from the, and he's finally to the place where he has all these things because he got to the place where God had ordained for him to be. And in the end, when his brothers get back to him, and he finally gets back to his brothers, the scripture goes and says that he tells his brothers, "You meant it for evil, but God meant it for good, that he might reserve and save a posterity." It's important. So you have to understand that your life living, God earmarks certain things for certain moments in time. I believe that when David was sent to go send supplies to his brothers, and he kills Goliath, that was God setting up a moment, because the whole camp was in fear and trembling and afraid. And David's like, what? He says, "What does the man get who kills him?" And he makes the people rehearse God. That, to me, that's the most important thing, that you're honest with God, and that you are you maintain your integrity with him from the standpoint of being wonderfully open and honest with him, because that keeps you from getting into bitterness, and there's no other way to put it, because you watch some saints, and when they talk about the things of God and the plan of God and that kind of stuff, they sound bitter about it. Yes, I'm the pastor, I'm the leader, I'm the bishop, but you want this ministry, what you call, not just model it in front of you, but how they try to talk bad about the call of God, like they're the gatekeepers and can't nobody get in. It's not it. And almost as if to say, it's really hard over here, and this, and they preach to you all the bad, and then say, do you still want? Not forgive you of your past. You're going to have to be okay and be able to love folk right on and keep doing the things of the Lord right on. And that's not always easy, but the mature know how to do it. Yeah. And do the job with joy and say, I love all of y'all, and truly mean it in the name of the Lord. Because if a person got an issue, well, they got a problem with me. Yeah. So I don't lose sleep when I go home to, I don't know why they just don't like me, and this and this. And this. If I do, friends, family, spouses, loved ones, brothers, sisters, children, uncles, nieces, nephews, grandparents, great-grandparents, play cousins, dogs, cats, goldfish, turtles, hamsters, whatever the case is. If you got a problem with me, and when we try to talk together, come to a resolve of the issue, we can't come to a resolve because you know me, and you talk about a lot of things that I've done that have hurt your feelings. Things like, well, what can I do to make it right so we can get on a better footing? And you have there is nothing that I
And I think we want to be plush. We want to be, we want to be the center of attention. But when God tells us to do something, to do a thing, and we sit down and we wait or we procrastinate, and and then it seems like the fire gets turned up on us. And then we seem as if, I've been there when God told me to leave with the told me to leave with the salon. I wanted to. I stayed too long. I stayed longer than what I should have stayed, and messed around. And guess what? I ended up. It ended up becoming a problem to me. It ended up becoming a burden, and I tried to carry that burden all by myself. And once, as long as I got King Jesus, I don't need nobody else. We did that. That's what I thought. I didn't need nobody else. I didn't need to tell people that I was going through, because when you tell people you're going through, that I was going through, because when you tell people you're going through, they begin to talk and chatter, and then you end up losing out, or you feel like you're boxed in because all the chatter's going on. But sometimes you have to hear a blessing in the midst of the chatter, because that chatter, if they don't put your name in places that it can't go, because of the negativity that's coming about on your name, you may not get the help that you need, because sometimes people feel as if the less they talk about me, or the less they know about me, the less they can talk about me. But the more they talk about you, your name can get in room, get you on another level.
Yeah. When you were talking, I was just thinking about Ruth. The reason why Ruth had so much favor with Boaz, because he heard how she was caring for his older cousin, Naomi.
Yeah.
And so So the provision that was made, the protection that she got, that she didn't know she was getting, because he told his people, look out for her, make sure you leave some stuff for her to get, so that her toil and her work wasn't going to be so hard. Because the custom, the Jewish custom was, as you farm your field, you left the edges for the poor to go get it. For those that needed and couldn't afford it, they could go get that. So as Ruth went to go do that menial labor, she was exposed because anyone could have taken advantage of her. And she wasn't a hard on the eyes kind of young woman based on what the scriptures say. So therefore, she was in a position where Boaz took notice of her, and because he had heard of how she was caring for Naomi. So he had to hear from other people seeing and talking. And so you have to get yourself out of the mindset of everybody always talking about me and they hate. Like, no, like learn to ignore that. Learn to ignore that and just walk confidently, walk circumspectly, walk carefully, walk in the way the Lord has established for you, and just keep going that way. And learn not to be closed mouths. Like, I don't care what nobody say. I'm gonna do the Lord say do, and then you close yourself off to good sound wisdom. You have to learn to balance, and that is a growth and maturity thing. Learning to that information was horrible and trash. I can't do that. Who they think they is trying to come talk to me about it? Okay, it's good. That's information. Okay, it may not be good. Then some people come with good wisdom points and really great things. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna hold that for when I get into a situation that they were talking about. I know what to do, but that's not gonna help me right now. You have to learn that everybody's point and piece of wisdom is not for you. You gotta use what will apply, and sometimes it's trial and error with some stuff. Someone gave us some marital advice when we first got married, and it was good marital advice, but it wasn't gonna work for us because we were not in that kind of personality, that kind of situation. And so for us it was a little bit different. And I was like, man, that's good information, but that didn't quite work for us. And there was nothing wrong with their wisdom, it just didn't fit. Counselors, there is safety. Well, counselors has information, advice, and wisdom, and they give you it's a multitude. Doesn't mean you're going to use all multitude. You're going to pull one, two, or three and go do what you need to do. That's the concept of it. And it's learning how to hear sound wisdom, how to hear good information, and then not throw it away. You might be able to use it, you might be able to get at it, but you're walking your walk with the Lord. And as you're applying the word to your life, you're starting to see the success of it. As a people, we're going to also have to get into the place and be reminded that this is John 15 chapter. You got to go back and read that. Because Jesus said, he is the vine, his father is the husband. We, every branch, branches. And in me that beareth not fruit, he gonna take it away.
Yeah.
But if I bear fruit,
he's still gonna fruit. He gonna cut on me.
He gonna cut. Now, he not. This is more than what I can take. I can't handle no more, Jesus. No. What he's doing is he's saying you're bearing fruit, but I need you to bear much fruit, and I need you to be healthy when you do it. So he prunes you back, and then you go through your ugly phase. Life gets ugly, things get ugly, things about you don't quite see right. Well, could it be the cutting of the pruning of the Lord, that he's pruning some stuff off of you, so that as you continue in, because guess what, you're still connected to the vine. I've not left my connection. I'm still connected, and I'm still a part. But he's cut me, so now I'm bare. I'm bone. I'm not looking nice, and it's gonna take me a while to redo and regrow what I thought I lost. But it's not a loss, because you can regrow it. You can regrow it.
Yeah.
You're going to regrow it. You're going to come back fuller. You're going to come back stronger. You're going to come back, and the fruit that you bear is going to be a lot more fruit, and you'll be able to handle the much more fruit that you're going to bear. And you won't be a branch that gets broken off. Replenish some things in the lives of yourself and your posterity and your people and those that you come in contact with. I know. Oh no. He'll say, if your live screen, find them, view your live destinations.
Maybe it changed some.
Mm.